evening and welcome to tonight's Taft City Council Successor Agency meeting for Tuesday, June 4th, 2013. Tonight we will begin as usual with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would ask Mr. Knorr to lead that, please, and an invocation led by Pastor Scott Pearson of the First Baptist Church.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would join me, please, when we salute our flag, salute and pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Father God, we thank you for the wisdom that we get from you. You have all knowledge, and you share that with us in various ways. We thank you that we can know your leading, and that we pray for your wisdom and your guidance for our city council. Thank you for each one of these men and their commitment to our community. Continue to work through them and continue to build a strong Taft for those of us that live here. Guide them, we pray. Help them to know, indeed, that you are behind the decisions that they make, and that we pray always that as our community grows stronger, we will continue to look to you and to give you praise because of your working through us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Knorr and Mr. Pearson. We appreciate it. May we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Linder?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cryer?
Here.
Councilmember Miller is absent. Councilmember North?
Here.
And Councilmember Waldrop?
Here. Thank you. Councilmember Miller sends his regards. He's not feeling well tonight, so he felt it best to stay home, and we would agree. First item on the agenda tonight is a public hearing, and that's the result of an assessment ballot proceeding and approving certain actions. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. Staff has worked with MBS to complete a landscape lighting district study and identify the revenue necessary to fund expected expenses of the assessment district. In order for the revenues to meet the expected expense needs, the lighting landscape maintenance district charges will need to be adjusted to provide sufficient funding for all costs starting year 2013-2014 and includes a CPI not to exceed 3% each year. Charges for the assessment district are property-related charges subject to Proposition 218. The proposed increases in the existing assessment will be confirmed unless a majority protest exists.
Thank you very much. At this time, we open the public hearing first, correct? Then I would open a public hearing, and I would invite anyone wishing to speak in favor or against this increase in the landscape and lighting district to please come forward. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing, and we will have an official ballot count.
Can I make one quick announcement?
Oh, certainly.
If there's anyone in the audience that didn't get to turn in a ballot, we have some blanks that you may fill out at this time before we start counting.
Okay.
Seeing none?
Okay, now we will close the public hearing. And at this time, we just have a little parliamentary procedure that we have to go through, and we've got to count some of these ballots that have come in, so
Yes,
you'll
Mr.
just bear with us.
Dayhoff with MBS
Yes.
is conducting the study, is here to help open and tabulate the ballots.
Thank you.
I'm going to open them, I'm going to hand them off to him. So.
Okay. How many responses did you say we had?
34 out of 108.
Oh, yes, that's right. This affects 108 properties, and we received 34, we hope, completed ballots, either yay or nay, so.
Then come back.
Yes. Yeah,
Weird.
it's a little different because of the issue with the motel.
Oh,
Yeah, we have to approve some stuff or talk about some stuff before we do. Yeah, I thought it was a typo.
well, I didn't catch it in there.
Yeah.
There's one that didn't mark the ballot.
What's that?
So there was one that didn't mark the ballot.
How's that one counted?
Wasn't sure. Neither mind, huh?
Hope it wasn't mine.
Where at on, is that where the rails are trail?
Yeah.
They need to restrike that from by, Snow White, and the Will's Cross.
Oh, by the.
You can't tell it.
Yeah.
There's a walk crosswalk.
Yeah, they're not over gray.
Oh, well,
Yeah, and people, man, they just walk off of this thing.
right?
The crosswalk at the corner of where the mobile home park is across to Snow White,
Yeah.
you can't hardly see the crosswalk anymore.
We're getting ready to
Restripe.
restripe everything.
Oh,
Once a year,
okay.
we restripe
Yeah.
everything.
Then I won't say nothing.
Yeah, that four-way stop down there has just been smooth as glass, hasn't it?
Right on Gold Coast, the one on.
Yeah, it's not that hard, copy better in a way up here.
You did it right on
It's kind of nice to be able to see kids, not scared to
You're
death.
talking about further down by the ice
By the
house.
high school. Well, by the high school.
Well-
The way we put in,
Santa
Santa Medio and Kent. Where the ball fields are.
Oh, yeah. I don't think so.
No, it's been really kind of nice to see the kids be able to look and step off the curb knowing that somebody's not doing 40.
Yeah, yeah. No, they're all narrow stop signs. Yeah, right.
I call it traffic calming.
Yep, yep. Especially schools.
Yeah, around schools. I started fighting for that when I was working in high school.
We just now get it.
It's just now, because
Usually somebody has to get killed.
well, I know, and that's one of the things I said, let's don't do it, let's do it before somebody gets killed.
Yeah, exactly.
So it only took 10 years.
I saw that.
Was that Caltrans responsibility?
No, it ended up being the city of Taft's, but Caltrans always fought it, said it's too close to the stoplight, but we just kind of did it, didn't we, Craig? Yeah, so we just
Well,
got
we
it
know
done.
we can do it.
Yeah, we just got it done.
That's what it should be.
I almost need to get the county to put one in at Ash Street
Ash
by
and,
the fort.
Yeah,
Because people
yeah.
just come up,
Yeah.
Lincoln and just
Yep.
flying.
there's been a few accidents there, even down on 6th and Ash.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you a question about the street hockey. You know, the county's gonna go ahead and do it for us, to install it. I already got with, so I did go to the office and they went ahead and install it and fix all that stuff up. But, yeah, I got with West Park at the Kern Park Department, and they're gonna go ahead and I used for it too. I was like, they want to make sure it can be used. That's, yeah. So I thought between you and West Park, you guys be the one that has the answers. Anyway, I thought I'd let you go. I'm not councilman right now. Trying to get that liquor control. I can find it now.
Sure.
The county officer go ahead and accept that street hockey rink by Veterans Hall.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Like the new wood, tree stripe and stuff like that.
Not a bad idea.
The whole, West Park at the rec building, so they can use it. They have one there by an auditorium, but it's not.
Right, right.
And they said they can use it, and they, according to the county, that Westside can go ahead and use it, whether they want to use it for,
Cool.
maintain it. I don't think it's place up with Westside.
Well, I think at this point, it's never gonna hurt to mention David Couch and anything they're doing out here, because they're doing wonderful stuff.
Great. And for the little stuff, dog nuisances to a branch falling off a tree, to the big stuff.
It's nice.
Gambit.
Yeah, you almost feel like they can.
Yeah.
And I think they do.
They just want to spend the money, but it can be used.
Yeah.
I hope people
That's pretty minimal expense too, though.
Yeah.
So.
maybe use or new,
How did your flag raising go?
Very nice, just wasn't very well attended.
Well, you did the right thing.
Those people did a good job.
Sometimes you can only do what the deal's right.
Hey, I'm happy we did.
I get every one of his emails. He's great.
Have you been down there to see, yeah, you got the honor of all the doors, windows, and all the frames. And that thing's about the worst posting up and down all over the place. What's going on?
Down at,
424.
yeah, down at Heroin, yeah, Jefferson Street.
It's the,
The sinking building.
Yeah.
So he salvaged everything out of it he could?
It looks like it. Somebody did, you know how the scavengers are.
Well, that's true.
We're going to demolish it when?
It's coming up.
If you had half of it, you were in the turn, I drywall, pulling like copper wire and everything.
I wouldn't be surprised. What's really sad is he's gonna take all that garbage and...
Still tabulating.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, how you guys? I just took the whole email. You sleeping with the fish like you got my head on. Well, I was in a business school, but I didn't know until this day, it was a landmark all along.
I have to email Ray.
There's 4 duplicates.
Pardon me?
There was 4 duplicates of the same parcel.
Really? Interesting. So, help me understand this. The ones that didn't respond, they're not counted either way?
Only the balance that were received are counted.
So, the majority opposes this, based on the 34 votes?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So, then what is our action here then? We just have to declare the
Declare
proceedings,
Right,
basically?
the first resolution.
Okay, all right.
Well, this one, we can title that resolution. Then we don't do the other one.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you for your patience. We finished tabulating the votes. This had an effect on 108 parcels. We received only 34 responses of the 108. 14 ballots were in favor of the increase, 16 were in opposition to the increase, and therefore the increase does not go forward. And At this time, then, I would entertain a motion to approve a resolution titled, "A Resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft, California, declaring the results," I'm reading two different things here, "declaring the results of an assessment ballot proceeding and approving certain actions." What we are approving tonight is the ballot, basically, the vote. Does that seem clear, gentlemen?
It is the,
Yes, absolutely, please.
you're approving the results of the ballot, and since there is a majority for this, we are abandoning the proceedings to form this assessment.
To form it, or,
Yes. Well,
or to increase?
We were forming a new,
yeah, it's a reformation.
we were combining them into one.
Oh, okay. So this isn't for the
Lighting Landscape District.
increase?
It was the increase and formation of one.
Okay, all right,
We're
well,
abandoning all of it. So
Wow.
we'll just stay the way it is for now.
okay. Is that clear, gentlemen?
Yep.
All right.
Motion.
Need a second. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Mr. Waldron.
Well, they have voted, and that's who we work for. So
I agree.
they have spoken.
Mr. Cryer?
Same, that people got a chance to vote on it and didn't need it. So what we're going to do next, the extra costs and stuff, to keep on the ones that are, have the existing ones on the servicing part of it, but I'm sure Craig can find a ways to keep the thing working without getting into our general funds too much, but people have spoken and accept it.
Thank you. Mr. Knorr?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think it's utterly disappointing that so few people decided to be a part of the democratic process. You were sent a ballot straight to your residence. It was easy to mark it and return it so that you would have a voice. Those of you who would have agreed and didn't make your voice known, the separation was 2 votes?
2 votes.
2 votes. The great thing about living in the United States is having the ability to vote and having a voice in government. To be so lazy as to not take advantage of that right that people fight and die for is a very big problem, even in a small city like the city of Taft. I myself, where I live, I will tell you right now that there are I live in an older neighborhood in the city of Taft, and there are some very small homes that are well kept, and they are neat, and they show pride of ownership. And you're happy to drive down the street and see those homes. And then there are some that the lawns are completely dead, tree trimmings are left on the street, or they're left next to the house, and they've been there for months and months and months, and they look like crap. And they degrade an entire neighborhood, and they remove pride of ownership from people who live there who would otherwise take care of their properties. There's no such thing as a free ride, folks, in spite of what you might hear coming out of Washington or Sacramento. And pride of ownership shows, and it just takes a little bit of effort, perhaps a little bit of water, to show that, little scraping, little painting. And these landscaping and lighting districts these days are very necessary, and they are very reasonable. So the people have spoken. It's a shame that more didn't. It would have been nice if every single one of them would have responded, and then if the majority said no, it was no. But very few did. I find that deeply disappointing. We will respond and live by that, but it's disappointing no less. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Knorr. I too agree with all your thoughts. I happen to, and I don't believe anybody else does, but I happen to live in the area where this landscape and lighting district is, and I personally enjoy the maintenance of the trees and the grass and the parkway, basically. And I know a lot of people do, because a lot of people ride bikes and walk their dogs and go right by my house. I see these people. Now, they may not necessarily be residents up there, but it adds quality of life. And I will tell you, I voted in favor of the increase because I think it's a necessary thing. My hope is that we don't see grass starting to brown and trees starting to die, and that type of thing. And as the city manager knows, that if it comes down to that, I'll probably throw a hose over my wall and water it myself and mow it if I have to. But I don't think this is a done issue. I think that we'll come back in a year or whatever the timeline is, and maybe I myself have to do a little better job of educating people on what exactly that's for. So, but I do respect the fact that people voted, and I'm with Mr. Knorr. I would have loved to have seen 108 votes and it lose by 2 votes. You know, I don't prefer to lose, but at least everybody would have their say. So there's obviously 80 plus people that didn't vote on that. So anyway, we have our motion. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Walden?
Yes.
Councilmember Pryor?
Yes.
Councilmember Noor?
Yes.
Mayor Linder?
Yes, thank you. Item number 2 is a public hearing, an ordinance that adds Title I, Chapter 3 to the Taft Municipal Code titled Administrative Citations and Penalties. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. Code enforcement has been working with the city's attorney's office to write an ordinance that would establish administrative citations and penalties and serve as an alternative method to enforce provisions of the code. The code would assess civil fines and penalties through an administrative hearing procedure for code violations in accordance with the Government Code Section 53069.4. There are no current fines or penalties assessed to properties once they have been cited for an abatement. The current procedure is that once the nuisance has been identified, the property is cited and given a specified period to abate the nuisance. If the nuisance is not abated, then the city has a problem corrected and then sends the property an invoice. The invoice is not paid within a specified time, then a public hearing is set to approve a lien on the property. This procedure can take several months and could potentially take several years to recoup the funds already expended on the property. Approving this proposed administrative citations and penalties would start assessing the fees in a short period of time, and if not paid during a specific period, it would then be placed as an assessment on their next year's property tax bill.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. At this time, I will conduct a public hearing and or invite anybody who wishes to speak either for or against this item to come forward, please. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, and I would entertain a motion to approve an ordinance entitled An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Taft adding a chapter to the Taft Municipal Code to establish administrative citations and penalties for code violations by title only, and the reading of such be waived.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Knorr, comments?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It seems like almost a shame that if somebody decides to make that step to invest in property, that we have to do certain things in order to make sure that beyond that, they take care of that property. Here we were just talking about pride of ownership and the quality of life and the things that it does to a community. But it's very real, and the steps that we have to go through in order to take care of the public good, safeguard their welfare, and do away with public nuisances sometimes take a great deal of time, staff time, and money. And maybe this is a way to get people's attention a little bit quicker and remind them that there's a responsibility that comes along with property ownership. It's not just a matter of make your payments, it's a matter of take care of your property. Take pride in where you live. Think about if your neighbor was as irresponsible as you are, how would you feel about it? So this is part of the process, and anything we can do to make it go quicker. Obviously, what we want to do is get people's attention so they remediate their own issues, and we don't have to go to those lengths and spend the taxpayers' dollars and the people's time. This is one of those things that has to be done. Therefore, I will support that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Knorr. Mr. Cryer?
I concur with Councilmember Dave Knorr. The only question I would have is there possible that the person gets a citation or a notice that if they can bring a grievance to council, we can, the first step?
I don't believe
It's a fine.
it's a fine.
Is it fine?
That's correct. It's not to say that there's not going to be warnings issued, but basically if somebody continues to thumb their nose at getting what we call a respectable living area, they're going to get a citation.
Same as a police officer.
Yeah.
They have the discretion to give someone a warning or a ticket depending on their action of the field.
And it just, and they'll have to go see the judge. And
This is after the fact that we went through the process before then, or is this just the first, is he a problem, they issue a citation at that time before there's a due process, or?
I
This
believe
would be for non-compliance.
non-compliance, yeah. In other words, if my weeds are up and they come and tell me to get my weeds down, I get it down, that's fine. But if I thumb my nose at them, I'm gonna get a citation.
That's what I was looking at.
Basically, it's costing us money, keep going back, to ask these people to timely, then if we follow the legal process, it could take months. There's no financial consequences until the very end. They could thumb their nose until the very end.
Well, and the other issue is the city's left hanging. All the time and effort goes on a lien on the property. The city gets no money back until the property is sold, and then it might be potluck even then, so.
I'm good. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Mr. Waldron?
I agree with everything Councilman North said.
Thank you, I concur also. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember North?
Yes.
Councilmember Pryor?
Yes.
Councilmember Waldron?
Yes.
Mayor Linder?
Yes, thank you, and that passed on a 4-0 vote. Okay, and leading right up into that is the next public hearing, which is a, oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. At this time, item number 3 is to conduct a public hearing, and this is a hearing on cost and placement of liens on abated properties. I will open the public hearing and invite anybody wishing to speak in favor or against any of the issues on either 134 North Street at a cost of, oh, there's no cost on this, is there? Okay.
I can read the cost item.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Location 134 North Street, $7,430. 105.5 Lucard Street, $13,452. 906 6th Street, $1,173. 108 7th Street, $30,552. 427 San Emilio Street, $3,948. And this is money the city spent out of its general fund to abate these issues that property owners would not do on their own.
And in case you missed that, that's a little over $55,000 that taxpayers are paying to clean up other people's property in an attempt to make our town a little bit nicer to live in that we probably will not see back. So, $55,000, folks. So anyway, we're talking about properties at 134 North Street, 105.5 Lucard Street, 906 6th Street, 108 7th Street, 427 San Emilio Street. Is anybody wishing to speak either in favor or against these liens? Please come to the microphone and state your name and your address, please.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. My name is Frank Tripicchio, and I am here in response to a notice to lien the property at 906 6th Street. And it appears that I'm here probably the worst possible time, given the issues that you're addressing this evening. My problem is that there has been a lack of transparency, at least in my opinion, with regard to an invoice that was sent to me in February on a notice to abate a nuisance at a property at 906 6th Street. The notice was received last July. Immediately, the abatement was cured, and the abatement consisted of boarding up windows and doors at a building that has been vacant. At that time, I was asked to pay a bill or an invoice in the amount of approximately $300. I'll tell you exactly what it was. I'm not sure. Do you have copies of what I'm referring to, or do you know what I'm referring to? If not, I would like to share these with you so that you can follow with me what I'm referring to.
Okay, I guess we do have a folder on.
These are all copies. So I received an invoice in February, and this was subsequent to a bill of $239.50, which I paid on
July the 25th of 2012. It was explained to me at that time that the bill was a reflection of the permit that I needed to board up the building and some additional costs for the code enforcement agent who had visited the property and cited the property. I had asked for an explanation as to how they arrived at the $239.50, and that information was never provided. They could not tell me how they arrived at the $239.50. However, I paid it. That was it. Well, in February the 26th, which is approximately 6 months after this occurrence, I received another invoice from the city asking for an additional $1,173. I proceeded to call Jill here at the city, and I also spoke with Joshua, who is with the mayor's office. I was referred to a Joshua who is with the mayor's office. That's what I was told. And asked for an explanation of this invoice. I mean, looking at the invoice, I have no idea what it's for. I mean, it has no reference whatsoever to what these expenses are about and why I should pay it. So I think it's only fair for me to get an explanation, a legitimate explanation of what it is that I'm asked to pay for. No response. I proceeded then to call a city council member, and he arranged for a meeting with myself, chief of police, and a representative of the mayor's office whose name I cannot recall at this point. This was about a month ago. I was told that they would look into it and respond, or at least let me know what it is that I was being requested to pay. Never heard a reply, never heard a call, never received any information subsequent to that meeting, other than I received, of course, a registered letter with the notice to lien. Now, I want to be clear, I have no problem with paying a legitimate charge as long as it is explained to me what it is about. And I think any of you receiving an invoice that says attorney quantity 1, $1,100 per each, what does that mean? I have no idea what that means. But in addition to that, the letter, the notice of lien states, this amount represents the total cost incurred by the city of Taft for cleanup of said property. Well, it is wrong. It's a lie. The city did not clean up anything. I was the one that took care of abating the nuisance. I paid the contractor to come and board up the windows. I paid to do all the work that needed to be done. And I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with doing what it is my responsibility. But then when I get a notice, a legal notice, that is going to affect the title on my property, saying that the city cleaned up the property, and that is what I've been charged for, I take objection to that. That is not accurate, that is wrong, and I don't feel that I'm responsible to just fork over $1,100 for a notice that is inaccurate, and it is, in my opinion, not applicable. I paid the bill in July, when I was asked to pay for the $239. I assumed the case was closed. 7 months later, I get this notice, which to me is inaccurate, at best, and perhaps not even applicable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to, the last name is
Trapicchio.
Trapicchio.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Trapicchio. It's obvious that you have questions. We have some documents here that I'm sure that city staff will make available for you to look at.
Sure.
The one block item for the attorney fees is not for just 1 hour. It's for the whole process to go through and get legal documents and warrants to take care of the issue. My understanding is we had to obtain a warrant. That's why there were legal fees assessed to it. Is that correct? You weren't...
A warrant?
I'm going to have the city attorney speak to that.
Yeah, through
through the mayor, in order to, city doesn't have authority to just go on to someone's property.
Right.
Even for nuisance actions, warrants have to be obtained, the court has to approve it, and there's a process involved to having a court approve access to property for abatement of the nuisance, and it's not a one-hour process.
Right. So I think the issue that we're talking about tonight is the legal fees that the city incurred in order to make sure that the code enforcement items were taken care of.
Well, Mr. Mayor, with all due respect, your ordinance states that these expenses need to be itemized. I'm following your ordinance. So when I get a bill that says $1,100, I have no idea what that is. That is not an itemized bill. That's just a bill saying, here is $1,100, pay it. I'm not agreeing with that. In addition, I should share with you, I am a real estate professional. Any title company will provide you with all the information that you need with regard to title for free. They don't charge for that information. So when the attorney says that he needed to do all this work and also have a warrant, I mean, a warrant for what? Whenever there's been an issue, you have been able to contact me, I've allowed you on the property, so what was the warrant for? And by the way, I have no copies of any of these reports that you're referring to.
Sir, do you disagree with the fact that the city had to notify you of some issues with the building?
Oh, not at all. And as soon as I was notified, I took care of it. I mean, probably in a week. So, and let me just mention something else too. That happened, the notice was sent to me while I was out of the country. I was in Africa for a month, taking care of some humanitarian mission. That happened at that point. When I came back, in the mail was the notice. I accepted the responsibility. I realized that that was something that was unacceptable and took care of it. I paid the $239.50 as I was requested, though no information or explanation was given to me at that time. How did you get to $239.50? Well, we don't really know, but that's the charge. Fine, let's just get it done and get it over with. Well, that was in July. July the 27th, the 25th, thank you, is when I paid that bill. 7 months later, you send me another one for $1,170 asking an additional payment? Where did that come from?
I'm just going to defer to staff real quick. We have several 30-day violation notices that have been sent and posted to the property as far back as July 26, 2011.
There was no response, so the city moved forward, as we do on all properties. We moved forward with legal. We obtained a warrant. At the time, Mr. Trapicchio responded and said that he would take care of it. At that time, the city had already incurred costs. We already obtained a warrant. Sure. We did allow him to abate the issues. It was signed off, but that was after the city incurred legal cost and staff time, because there was no initial response to the letter.
But that was due because he was out of the country in Africa at the time.
Yeah, but there's no exemption for being out of the country.
It's an issue of, the city took action on the building, and I don't think anybody disagrees with the action. So would you feel better if we got you a new itemized invoice that showed the hours that the city attorney worked on the whole process?
Sure, Mr. Mayor, but that is, I mean, you're expecting me to abide by your ordinance. Mm-hmm. I think the city or staff ought to be expected at the same level. So you send me a notice. First of all, the notice says that the city did the cleanup. That is not accurate. The city did not do the cleanup. So you're putting me now in double jeopardy. You've already sent me a notice. I am disputing your notice. I don't believe that the notice is accurate. You can't reissue another one and say, well, okay, we made a mistake, we'll do it again.
I don't have any documents that state the city cleaned up or abated it. I only have the invoice here,
Oh,
sir.
I'm sorry, but the letter, well, again, I'll read it to you for the record. The letter says, "This amount represents the total cost incurred by the city of Taft for cleanup of said property." I'd like to see the time that the city spent in cleaning up. There isn't any, because I'm the
Is
one
that
that
just,
did the
is
cleanup.
that just verbiage? It should have said abatement?
Boilerplate language.
Yeah.
It was the
Okay.
cost associated with getting cleaned up, that's what it
Right,
took to get it
right,
cleaned up.
okay. Well, sir, we appreciate it, and really, the bottom line is here is that if you want this lien to stay off your property, it needs to be paid. And we will provide you with documents to show the hours the city attorney worked on this, but I don't know how the council's going to feel on this, but we're probably going to approve the liens tonight, but if you get in and correct this payment, the lien won't go through.
Well, what is my recourse then? I should have asked that at the beginning.
The recourse is, as a property owner, you have a responsibility to the citizens of this town, plus your own investments, to make sure your property is maintained in a safe, healthy standard. The
Mr.
city has been
Mayor, I
down,
agree
sir,
with you.
excuse me just a minute. The city has been down there countless times and dealt with issues, and you do respond eventually. We're sorry that you were out of the country, sir, but you cannot walk away from your property and expect somebody else to take care of it because you're out of the country. And I'm telling you, the lien is going to stand tonight, as far as I know, and the only way to get the lien off is to pay the cost that the city incurred to protect the community from derelict properties. That's about as clear as I can say it. This is not very fun for us either, but the truth of the matter is we have people that don't take care of their buildings, and we are going to make sure that people take care of their buildings.
I appreciate that, Mr. Mayor. However, it sounds to me like you're punishing me for actions or inaction by other citizens. I have responded and taken care of their property. As a matter of fact, perhaps I should turn the tables around. I have probably called the police department no less than 6 times because the building has been broken into, has been lived in by vandals and vagrants. At one time, they tried to set a fire. A month ago, when I was here, I met with the police chief. Right after that meeting, I went over to the building, someone from your office came. There were mattresses, people have been living there for at least a month. I never got a call back from the mayor. I called your office, wondering how do we take care of it?
Sir?
And what else can I do?
Sir, please address the
Yes, I'm
council.
sorry.
And I understand your concerns, I truly do, but I own property in this town too, and it's not a day go by that I do not go by my property and check on it. And I drove by the building tonight, and there's graffiti all over the building again.
Yeah.
I don't know how to help you other than there are avenues to properly board up your building. You can have burglar alarms put in place that our city police would respond to. I just don't think you're taking the actions necessary, because if people continue to break into your building, you need to protect your investment.
I'm well aware of that. Thank
And
you.
I know you are,
And I'm
sir.
trying to do that, but let me share something else with you. Had there been power in that building, somebody would have been fried in that building.
Is your building insured?
Yeah,
Okay, well, that's a good thing, because
But I
if you're
had-
allowing people to get into your building,
but I had to turn the power off for fear that someone would go there and electrocute themselves, then we were having a major issue. So unless I move in there, the building myself, it's not going to be the kind of property that can be, the police are by there daily, supposedly. They don't see what's going on, so I guess I would have to move into the building to make sure that no one trespasses or moves in.
well, I guess my suggestion is, sir, is that you need to take other means to protect your property, and if one of those is a $35 or $40 a month burglar alarm, at the simplest side of it, that might be a good investment, because
Sure.
the police can't stop and go into your building, because we'd have to get another warrant, which means we'd have to charge you more legal fees, and we don't want to do that.
Well, I don't think that would be necessary, but I appreciate your suggestion.
Okay.
Thank you, yeah.
We appreciate you being here, and sir, if you just check on your building more often. And again, all you have to do is pay what the city's not making any money off this. We're just trying to recoup taxpayers' dollars that we've used to either secure or make sure that your building is in minimal compliance.
Sure, and I intend to do that. Could I follow up again with with an answer to the question, what is my recourse at the end of this procedure or proceedings?
Well, I can't speak for the other council members, but my guess is that your recourse will be to pay the total amount due to the city in order to keep a lien off your property.
Well, perhaps I'm confusing. Not recourse meaning if the council votes to approve the lien.
Yes.
Is there a recourse? Can I appeal that decision?
No, sir. Unfortunately, the dollars that you're being billed are for time and efforts that city staff and the city attorney have put forth to get to this point. Those are dollars that have been spent. There's...
Sure, I understand that, but can your decision be appealed, is the question.
I think you're appealing it right now. But I don't know. Is there an appeal process after this? I'll defer to the city attorney.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I think what he's asking for is legal advice, and the city attorney doesn't provide legal advice, nor would the council hire an attorney.
I understand.
And I think that's probably as good an answer as anything. So,
Sure.
sir,
Okay.
what I would ask you to do is come into City Hall. They will show you an itemized list of those dollars, but also I would encourage you to make more visits to your building and do what you can to prevent it from being occupied by others and vandalized by others.
Is there a way that perhaps the city building, the police department can also assist in keeping an eye at a property, which as a taxpayer, pay my taxes, and I suspect I should be entitled to some sort of...
May I respond to that, Mr. Mayor?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor.
Give you just a break.
Thank you.
Sir, if your property didn't look like it had an open invitation to vagrants or drug dealers or those hell-bent on bad things, then I doubt very seriously they would visit there. It's obviously abandoned. It's obviously easy to get into. There are other properties around the city of Taft, as well as in unincorporated areas, and we've spoke with other people regarding these things, that when the boards are half torn down, it's easy to see that those who are going to engage in illicit activities will find a very comfortable place in buildings just like yours. It would be my suggestion, sir, that you turn it into something that doesn't look like an invitation. That would be by taking care of it. That would be by boarding it up. That would be by securing a fence. And in answer to your question, the chief of police and the police department of the city of Taft are not in the property management business. Okay, they are here to protect the taxpayers and the citizens of the city of Taft from crime as well as other things. Now, if you had somebody in that building and a crime was taking place, I guarantee you they will respond, and they will respond appropriately. But they are not in the business of taking care of the security of ill-maintained properties for out-of-town landlords. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
I totally disagree with your assessment.
I don't doubt that for one moment.
The building is totally boarded up, and it is fenced. So, do I need to put an electric fence? So you haven't seen the building lately, but the building...
I have seen the building, sir, and obviously you're an articulate man, so you understand the problems that you have. I would have to guess that you can come up with a workable solution.
Thank you, Mr. Councilman Nora. Thank you, Mayor.
Sir,
Thank you,
we
council
would be
members.
happy to give you information regarding security companies that work very well with the city of Taft, and I'm sure for a very minimal fee, they would respond to your building, and if there is criminal activity, they would call the police. I think that's your best bet. That would be my opinion.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks. Where can I get a copy of the detailed copy of the invoices that amount to $1,173?
So I could come in and ask to see,
Yeah.
I can...
Just come into City Hall during regular business hours. They're not there now, and let them know that you're here, and they'll probably be gathering stuff up for you. But they'll get you the information, sir.
Thank you.
May I say something?
Sure.
I've known Frank from Rotary, and he's a very good gentleman. He's very honorable, and he's trying real hard.
Thank you.
What I was going to say is that you're one of the first people that really come up here and give before us, as far as property that...
Cared to show, yeah.
Cared to show up. And then, like I said, we're all here willing to listen to you and take action. And I would suggest, get one of these hunting cameras you can probably put in a part of the building, and then it just takes pictures and like motion and take photos of it, and then if there is some criminal activity going on or trespassing, you can take those to the police chief. I'm sure he can identify who the culprit is and take action, trespassing charges or vandalism charges. But that'd be probably the cheapest solution, because those cameras probably cost less than $100 and run off of batteries.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I thank you, and I appreciate your suggestions. None of this would have been, none of us would have wasted this time had the statement or the invoice been more transparent, had all the information that had totaled up to the 1,173 been outlined, and then I would have said, okay, I can see what they're talking about, but not 7 months later. You send me a statement and say, here's bill for $1,173, pay it, or we're going to leave the property. I mean, that is not, I would say, at least unprofessional, but.
Okay.
that's my
I got a
personal
question
opinion.
to ask.
Sure.
In all this time, why haven't you got it fixed and rented it?
Well, the economy.
I got rentals. I got rentals.
Would you be interested in renting my building?
No, I might be interested in buying, but not renting it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for being here tonight. Okay, anybody else wishing to speak? Then I will close the public hearing. And at this time, I would, and I'm going to defer to legal, can we adopt all these resolutions in one roll call vote, if I at least announce each resolution?
Yes.
Don't have to read them? Okay, very good. Then at this time, I would entertain a motion to confirm the statement of expenses as submitted and approve resolutions entitled, the resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft approving and confirming the cost for the abatement of the nuisance at 134 North Street, APN 031-450-29, and 105 and a half Lucard Street, APN number 031-460-13, and 906 6th Street, APN 032-010-18, and 108 7th Street, APN number 031-200-10, and 427 San Emilio Street, Assessor's parcel number 031-280-27 and 28.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Gentlemen, is there any further discussion?
None here.
Mr. Walter? Mr. Cryer?
No.
Okay, I have none. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Noor,
Yes.
Councilmember Waldrop,
Yes.
Councilmember Pryor,
Yes.
and Mayor Linder.
Yes, and that passes on a 4-0 vote. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to bear with us. We have a closed session scheduled in the middle of our meeting to defer and talk with our legal counsel and our what's Mr. Coates? He's our DDA consultant. Anyway, we're going to recess to closed session at this time, correct? Yes. Yeah. We'll be back. Okay, thank you for waiting. We're back out of closed session, as you can tell, and I just need to formalize this a little bit. The Taft City Council held a closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8 for the council to give instructions to its negotiator, Craig Jones, regarding negotiation for real property, and this is Assessor's parcel number 032-110-58, and I've asked the city attorney to report us out of closed session. Mr. Corson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As the council is aware, this parcel is controlled by a DDA at the current time. The report out of closed session is the council has voted to amend bullet point on page 2 of the compensation and method of timing that's attached to the agenda as item 15. The second page, it says 30 cents per square foot, and we're correcting it to 90. Secondly, the DDA requires title insurance from all purchasers, and the council is authorizing to amend that to require title insurance only from the final purchaser, not from the middle escrow. And finally, the council voted unanimously as a policy decision for any future hotels within the city of Taft to include a financial feasibility part of its CEQA analysis. And again, Mr. Mayor, that was done by unanimous vote.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm totally lost as where we're at now, so.
We're on
Number 4.
special recognition.
Oh, there we go, special recognition. I've been making notes. What I might add, and I hope it's not being presumptuous, is that we have a very, very good, good information that we will see a 60-room motel groundbreaking soon in the city of Taft. So we're excited about that. So just keep your fingers crossed. What I'm going to do now is item number 4 is a special recognition, and I just wanted to read this recognition quickly. This is to honor Morgan Butler. Now, Morgan Butler is a student at Taft College, and she's in the TIL program. And for the past 6 months or so? 8 months? Oh, okay, all right. 10 months then. She has been working at City Hall in various capacities, and I know of one particular where she has been working on scanning and collecting old photographs for the history page on our website. And she's a doll. She's a wonderful young lady. She helped with the Arbor Day celebration up there. And so we just wanted to just give her a recognition because it's something she can put in her dowry. So this is a certificate of recognition from the City Council of the City of Taft, hereby recognizing Morgan Butler for successfully completed the 2012-13 Taft College internship program assigned to working at Taft City Hall, and for her willingness to complete any task given to her, always with a smile. With gratitude and best wishes for a successful future, and is signed and dated on the 4th day of June 2013, and it is signed by myself, the mayor, and all 4 council members. So, Morgan, when you see this on TV, thank you very much. We appreciate everything you've done for us. Thank you, Louise. Okay. All right, item number 5 is citizens' request for public comments. This is the time and the place for the general public to address the city council on matters within its jurisdiction. State law prohibits the council from addressing any issues not previously included on the agenda. The council may receive comment and set the matter for a subsequent meeting. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. The only person wishing to speak so she can have 6 minutes tonight is Kathy Orrin with the Chamber. That's a mayor discretion, by the way. Yeah. Yeah. Good evening, Kathy.
Good evening. Well, I just wanted to take this opportunity to remind you that our farmers market starts on Thursday. This is the first farmers market of the season. It is from 4 to 7, and yes, it is in the chamber parking lot. We've had nothing but disgruntled folks who feel there are many other good places for a farmers market, and I'm sure that there are. However, we are having it at the chamber parking lot. We have made a shade study, and for most of the time between 4 to 7, there will be shade in the chamber parking lot. Our vendors complained that when they brought fresh fruits and vegetables, they could watch them wilt in the Fifth Street Plaza because it's hot. And we've tried another place, and it was pretty much the same thing. We had some issues at the second place. So we are going to be at the chamber parking lot until further notice. So we will be there every Thursday from 4 to 7. Our car cruise, because it's the first Friday of the month, will begin at 6 o'clock on Center Street this Friday, and it has all the makings of a really good time. Our car cruise last month was very successful, and it will be ending with a concert on Fifth Street Plaza. The Aviators and Truxton Mile will be performing, and there will be vendors available with beer, and I'm sure, you know, beer and bands. It's just a winning combination. So we look forward to that. And then Saturday, we'll begin our car show, and this is our annual car show. It will begin at 7:30. We'll begin checking in cars up on the rails to trails. You can enter from 10th Street down Supply Row, going east on Supply Row. At this point, we have about 75 cars and motorcycles, which means we will have many more because Taft folks like to wait till the very last moment, and that's fine with us. I will speak to the folks that are unhappy because they do not see Mustang or Camaro on the list. Let me just speak to this little issue. We had a whopping 5 Mustangs and 3 Camaros last year. And trophies cost money. So we were forced to condense some categories, and you have the ability to put your Mustang in a stock car under the year, appropriate year, or you may put it in a muscle car category. It will be judged, and we are sorry that we can't have specific categories for every make and model that is made, but we don't have 5,000 entries. So that's where we are. I know there were some folks that have expressed some concerns on Facebook, and we so appreciate being, people say that any publicity is good, whether it's good or bad, and I'm going to go with that because the unhappy people on Facebook are still talking about the car show, so good for you. The car show will still happen, and there's lots of vendors, lots of prizes, and I think a good time will be had by all. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock is our sit and sip. We are going to be hearing from Connie, who represents a group of senior volunteers. Actually, these are people that will come and work for your business. They do not need to be paid by you. They are going to be paid by other means. They are people that are very able-bodied and quick-witted and have all their faculties and just simply don't want to stay home. They want to work. So we'll be learning about that program tomorrow. It seems to me to be an excellent program, both for the seniors participating and for those that need a little extra help in their businesses. And I want to announce that our Greater Taft Economic Development Ad Hoc Committee, which has been meeting for the last 3 months, 4 months. We will be finishing now. We have amassed all the intelligence that we needed in order to make good decisions. We have had several speakers. We have had lots of people come and talk to us, give us their perspectives, their learned perspectives on our community. And now it's time for us to make some decisions that can turn into some recommendations for our city council. So we will be working on that. We will not be meeting a week from today. That meeting has been postponed, but I will be letting the folks at the ad hoc committee know when our next meetings are going to be. We are drawing that task to a close, and I think it will be very exciting to see what the group comes up with. So that's all I have tonight. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kathy. Okay, moving on to council statements, non-action. Mr. Cryer.
Thank you, Mayor. Have some good news for City of Taft and also the outside lane areas in Fort City, and that the Veterans Hall and on Cedar Street, that the county is going to go ahead through David Couch's office. There's a street hockey court there. They're going to go ahead and put brand new boards, baseboards around it, restripe it, paint it, and fix it up for the community out there at the park. And hopefully they're going to start working on that here pretty soon. I talked with the West Side Rec District, and they're going to go ahead and use it and be part of it. And there's also, I found out, there's one by an auditorium, the pool area, but that's needs a lot of work done to it. So in the meantime, the one at the counties will be fixed up and used for the young kids and stuff when they play street hockey. That's a kind of a good thing. And another thing too about the activity for this coming weekend, we got to support the Chambers bike and car show and stuff. If we don't participate and use it, we'll lose it for next year. We need the attendance, people that participate, and all the vendors out there and all the shops and everything.
Taft, and all will be open. So if we all can participate and show our support for it, we'll be around again for next year. And that's all I have to say, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Cryer. Mr. Knorr?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to touch on what we talked about a little bit earlier about taking pride in what we do. The hot weather is upon us, folks. They're already talking about us hitting the century mark this weekend. So if you're going to get out there in your yard, you're going to work in your yard, work on your house, get out there early in the morning. It's always very nice. I love the mornings in Taft. The best things happen somewhere between 4:30 a.m. and 10. Favorite time of the day. Also, beer drinking is not a great way to hydrate. Oftentimes people think it is, but just FYI, alcohol is a dehydrator, folks, so you might want to throw in a little bit of Gatorade in between those long necks. It'll keep you safe, and keep an eye on your neighbors. If you have elderly people in the neighborhood, they are susceptible to the heat, especially if they're living under swamp coolers or whatnot, so be a good neighbor, be a good friend. Keep an eye on it and take care of yourselves, because when the heat gets here, things get ugly, and we don't want any of those tragedies to happen in our community. So watch each other. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Knorr. Mr. Waldron?
I would like to thank Couch, Supervisor Couch and all of his representatives that showed up with the honor guard at the Veterans Hall flag ceremony. It was very nice. Not as many people as I'd like, but, everybody has things to do, but Councilman, our Mayor Pro Tem, Orchard Cryer, did a very good job representing the city, and I'm just really proud of everybody that did show up. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Waldron. Just a quick comment. I had the opportunity to attend the 100th birthday party for the Conley School, and it was very well attended, and it was kind of interesting to see all the folks that are there that were Conleyites. I don't know, what'd you call yourselves, Ray? Conleyites. Anyway, lots of people, lots of generations. It was really neat. And even those of you who might remember Jemima Rowe from Maricopa, she lived in Maricopa. That's why I lay claim to her. But she was also a principal at Taft City Schools for many years and a teacher, and a wonderful person. And she even showed up for the event. So Lisa Kindred did a great job putting a whole program together, and it was really interesting to see that they used to build school buildings that stood for 100 years. I'm not sure that the buildings they're building now will last that long, but and maybe that's a good thing, I don't know, but bottom line is it was a great event, and kudos to everybody who attended Taft City Schools and went to Conley School. Great event. So. All right, moving on, we'll go to department reports. Do we have anybody who would like to stand up and tell us about stuff? Nobody? Okay, moving on. City manager statements. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing for tonight.
All right. Number 9, city attorney statements.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're on a roll, so I don't want to stop that.
Okay, item number 10 is future agenda request. Gentlemen, is there staff or councilman request anything for future agendas?
Not at this time. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I would ask for an agenda item to discuss commercial property, sewer, and refuse.
Discussion item?
Discussion item.
I would concur.
Thank you. All right, moving on, the consent calendar, items 11 through 25. All items on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the Taft City Council requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after the regular business items. The items tonight are 11 minutes for the May 21st regular meeting. Item number 12, payment of bills. 13, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Taft amending Section 3.3-6 for the Taft City Code establishing sewer rates for city residents, businesses, and industrial customers. 14 is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Taft amending Section 3.2-12 of the Taft City Code establishing refuse and street sweeping rates for city customers. Item number 15 is proposed amendments to disposition and development agreement, the DDA, between Sunset Rails LLC and the City of Taft. 16, waiving of fees for the Taft District Chamber of Commerce for costs associated with the 2013 Farmers Market. Item number 17, waiving of fees to the Taft District Chamber of Commerce for all costs associated with the 2013 Car Show. Item number 18, Taft Chamber of Commerce Car Show. Item number 19, considering waiving park reservations fee for Remnant Team Evangelistic Association event. And number 20, consider waiving park reservation fees for Taft Primary Play Day. 21, ratify emergency purchase of replacement lights for 10th Street lighted crosswalk. Item number 22, ratify contract and expenditures from the sewer spill on March 12, 2013. Item number 23, addendum to an agreement with Utility Cost Management LLC. 24, City Services Assistant. And 25, agreement with MGT America Incorporated to prepare and submit cost claims to the State Controller's Office. Gentlemen, do you wish any of these items to be removed?
There's more. There's more?
I'm going to request item number 22 be pulled.
That was it.
I think, Dave, we covered the other issue, correct?
Yes, sir, I believe 15 can stay on, given the changes that the attorney brought up. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, as long as the motion reflects that change. Motion on the consent agenda reflects the
If it
change.
would be cleaner, then I will request that you remove 15.
Yeah, let's remove it, and then we'll
Let's
just...
remove 15.
We'll just do the action. So 15 is removed also, then.
Thank you.
It gets it in the record better. Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve consent calendar items 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, and 25.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember North?
Yes.
Councilmember Waldrop?
Yes.
Councilmember Cryer?
Yes.
Mayor Linder?
Yes, and that passes on a 4-0 vote. Item number 14, or is that right? 15, I'm sorry. Item number, 15. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. In a review of the original DDA, it was brought to staff's attention that a few items needed to be amended in order for this sale and other sales to take place. The items deal with timing of land transfer and cost of property to Sunset Rails LLC. Sunset Rails LLC is working with a hotel developer whose financing is contingent on having title to the land, which will be used as collateral for his construction and permanent financing. Amendments to the original DDA need to be made in order to protect the city in the event of non-performance by the hotel developer.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. This time, I would, well, I guess what we wanted to do is get the 3 bullet points that the city attorney discussed into the record. Did you want to read those again, or just by motion?
Motion would be fine.
Okay. Then I would entertain a motion to approve this with the 3 bullet points that were discussed.
I would make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember North?
Yes.
Councilmember Cryer?
Yes.
Councilmember Waldrop?
Yes.
Mayor Linder?
Yes, thank you. Item number 22 is ratify contract and expenditures from the sewer spill on March 12, 2013. And I apologize, I don't have I only had one comment, so I don't know if we really, well, maybe you do need to, I don't know. Read the staff report. Is it short? Okay, thank you.
Due to the sewer spill in March 2013, city staff approved a contract with Kearns Consulting on an emergency basis. The contract needs to be officially executed. Also, the city of Taft has received all invoices associated with the incident. There are ample funds in the sewer reserves to pay for the expenses, which total $178,031.
Thank you. The only concern I had was with the biologist, the contract. And there was no mention of liability insurance in his contract. And I know Mr. Miller called me, and that was one of the statements he talked about, because he's very good at catching that. So I know it's done and done, but we need to make sure that our contractors are providing us with the liability insurance that we would generally need. That was my only comment, and also the fact that, that some of the expense on this may be covered under our risk management insurance type thing, possibly?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
They're still
Haggling.
investigating.
Yeah, it's still investigating.
And it says all cost incurred. There very well could be more costs that come down the road in the way of fines. We don't.
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much. So then at this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve the ratification expenditures for sewer spill from sewer reserve and execute contract with Kern Consulting Incorporated.
Motion.
Second.
We can have the language in there for the contract.
Okay,
for the-
okay,
for the,
okay. Thank you very much. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Moore?
Yes.
Councilmember Waldron?
Yes.
Councilmember Pyre?
Yes.
Mayor Linder?
Yes, thank you. Item number 26, to create a new assessment district for nuisance abatement to be collected by the Kern County Tax Collector. Mr. Jones.
Previously, the city would abate nuisances on private properties, and all costs associated with abatement would be placed as a lien on the property. If the costs were not recovered through invoicing, then the city would have to wait for the property to be sold to recover any monies owed to the city. Now it has been discovered the city could place such liens on property tax rolls through a new assessment district, and the amount of the assessments will be collected at the same time in the same manner as ordinary city taxes are collected. The assessment shall be subject to the same penalties and interest, to the same procedure for foreclosure and sale in case of delinquency as provided for ordinary city taxes. This allows the city to recover costs for nuisance abatements at a much quicker rate.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve a resolution entitled "A Resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft Intention to Form an Assessment District for Nuisance Abatement to be collected by the Kern County Tax Collector."
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Mr. Norr?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's interesting. It seems like this evening's meeting, we're surrounded with, what are we going to do to make people be responsible property owners? So here we are. One of the things that we have to be cognizant of in the city and any municipality is that enforcement actions cost money. They take staff time and they cost money. We have, unlike the federal government who prints their own money, we have a limited amount of money. And we have to learn to live within our means. We have to be sustainable or we can go bankrupt. States cannot, federal governments, well, that remains to be seen. Anyway, the fact of the matter is that there are additional code enforcement issues that are out there, and Jill does a wonderful job. And when she gets moving, all in the name of taking care of our quality of life and the safety of the people that live in the city. Attractive nuisances like the building that we were discussing with the landowner earlier, represent an attraction to people who would otherwise perhaps not be engaged in those criminal activities. And we have more than enough of them out there to occupy all of staff's time and more money than we have. If we are able to put this together, then instead of placing liens on properties that take perhaps years for us to recover our money or we never recover, we will more readily recover those monies, remediate those problems, and move forward to remediating other problems. So that money will turn over. That's the taxpayer's money. That's your money. And we want to put it to work for you. If it's just held on the books and it's accrued and accrued but never realized, then guess what? We run out of money, we run out of code enforcement, and we run out of teeth. All right? And then things go the wrong way. So this is a tool to help us more readily do our job, to help staff, to turn taxpayers' monies over, and to keep things working. It's a wonderful tool, and it makes all the sense in the world. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Norr. Mr. Waldron?
As usual, Councilman Dave Noor does it very fine. He's very good with words. I would just think that it's in our best interest to fine-tune our codes and keep looking at them and make them even better for the benefit of the city and its citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pryor?
Nothing more to add. Well said.
Very well said, Mr. Norr, thank you. But I'm going to take it one step further and make people understand that when you have an assessment on your taxes, your property taxes, if they go unpaid, your property now goes to tax sale. It's not just going to be a lien that lays out there forever. Our goal is to, from this point forward, once we get this thing rolling, is to put those fees and assessments on the tax rolls so that when you get your tax paper at the end of the year and you see there's an additional $500 fee on there for something, if you choose not to pay that, it's just like not paying your sewer or your bond or anything else, the college bond or the city school bond. If you choose not to pay those, the county will send your property as tax default. And we're putting bite in our bark because we're tired of sitting here waiting for people to pony up money that they owe because the city had to take on responsibility they shouldn't have had to. So I wanted to make it clear that when it hits the tax rolls, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. We're going to get it. So thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate that. May we have a roll call?
Councilmember Noor?
Yes.
Councilmember Waldron?
Yes.
Councilmember Carr?
Yes.
Mayor Linder?
Yes, and that passes on a 4-0 vote also. Item number 27, the 2013-2014 appropriations limit. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. The city council must annually establish a spending limit for the coming fiscal year as a requirement of Proposition 4. Beginning with the 90-91 appropriations limit, the annual adjustment factors change. Instead of using the lesser of California per capita income, or USCPI, to measure inflation, each city may choose one of two: the growth of the California per capita income or growth of the non-residential assessed valuation due to new construction within the city, or two, instead of using only the population growth of the city, each city may choose to use the population growth within its county. These are two annual elections. Decisions as to which of the options to select must be done by a recorded vote of the city council. The data necessary to calculate the increase in the non-residential assessed valuation of fiscal year 2013-14 is not available from the county assessor's office until late July or August 2013. However, the valuation for fiscal year 2012-2013 is available. It is recommended that the city adopt its 2013-14 appropriations limit by using the alternative factor of non-residential assessed valuation for the statutory adjustment. The computation shows the city's statutory adjustment factor is 0.773975%, and the appropriation limits for 2013 fiscal year is $6,534,787. There's an attached sheet.
That's a mouthful. And I believe this is the 11th time we've gotten to go through this process since I've been on the council. So anyway, thank you, and I'd entertain a motion to adopt a resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft Establishing Appropriations Limits for 2013 and 2014.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Mr. Noor?
I'm on a roll tonight. Thank you, Mr.
All
Mayor.
right. Mr. Cryer?
It's interesting that you take a look at these numbers, and if you're wondering just exactly how exact we're going to be, that last 5 and that .9773975 represents 5/10 millionths of a percent. That's getting right down there. That had to be Teresa, because nobody deals in those numbers, not even drag racers deal in those numbers, for heaven's sake. It also represents an annual adjustment downward of the city's budget of $151,000 and change. So those things do not go untold, and it's not automatic that, well, heck, we spent this much money last year, let's spend, $100,000 more this year. Those things do not take place. So the numbers are looked at, and they're very real, and it's not rubber stamped. So that's all I have to say. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Cryer, you're good? Mr. Walter?
I have no comment, thank you.
And I have no comment. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Noor?
Yes.
Councilmember Carr?
Yes.
Councilmember Waldron?
Yes.
Mayor Linder?
Yes, thank you. Item number 28, donation to the Taft Chamber of Commerce to help cover costs for the 4th of July celebration. Mr. Jones.
Thank you. For several years, the Taft District Chamber of Commerce provided a 4th of July celebration for the enjoyment of the citizens of Taft and surrounding areas. Due to lack of funding, the Chamber was unable to provide a fireworks show in 2011 and 2012. This year, 7 businesses and individuals have stepped forward to donate funds for a 4th of July 2013 fireworks show to be held on the rails trails. However, the donations are still needed to secure a spectacular show. Mayor Linder, with concurrence from Councilmember Miller, has asked item B agendized and to ask council for a $2,000 donation to the chamber to be used towards the 2013 fireworks display. As it would be used for all Taft citizens' enjoyment, it would be determined that it was not a gift of public funds.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. I did ask for this to be placed on the agenda so that we could discuss it. I did ask for $2,000, but if you guys have other ideas, I'm certainly open to that. But bottom line is, the 4th of July fireworks show is very popular in town. I think the city needs to play a part in that. So I'll open it up to you. Or do we need a motion to discuss it, or we can just talk about it?
We have to have a motion.
Do we need a motion? No, it's just discussion, right?
Oh, discussion, direct.
All right, so gentlemen, any comments?
I have a comment. I would like to invite the chamber director to come up here and address this. I'd like to know how your fundraising event is going and your efforts, because I know you've been working on this for an entire year. And I'm curious.
Yes, thank you.
Just exactly where the funds are coming from and who all's recognizing the fact that this is a celebration of our independence, the foundation of this country, not just simply an opportunity to barbecue hot dogs.
Well, I have to tell you, we had a car wash on Saturday. Kenny Schuyler, who is on our committee, was bound and determined that there would be a car wash, and I explained to him that this old woman had done her last car wash. I would help him get the supplies, but I was not going to be washing cars. He was totally and completely surprised by that, but he, alas, understood, or at least got it. I went back 4 hours later, and they had collected $556. Wow. They had washed many vehicles, and they were all donations. There was no set price. It was just, give us what you think, what you can give us. Today at the chamber, a woman walked in and handed me a $10 bill. A man walked in and handed me a $100 check. Another gentleman came in and handed me a $100 check. So I've had stories of people going to a birthday party and talking about, we really want to have a fireworks show, and calling me and saying, this company, my ex-brother-in-law said he thinks it's time we had our fireworks back, so he's going to give us $2,500. I haven't seen the $2,500 yet. But I have to say, everyone that has all those...
Find that guy.
All those stories have come to fruition. No one has promised us what they haven't delivered. So Oxy sent us a check for $1,000 that we received today. It's pretty amazing. So I think we are going to make our goal. We have, as of today, we have a month. Now, of course, we have 2 weeks before we give money to the companies, so I think we're in good shape. The fireworks are covered. The expenses of the fireworks show, of course, have not been covered, because we still have fencing, we still have porta potties, waste cans, all those things that you have at any event, we still have to cover. But I've been very pleasantly surprised. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dave, you got the ball rolling, and of course, Mr. Hampton with his $5,000 donation certainly got things moving. So we are very excited, very appreciative to the community. People walk in and hand us money, and I'll say, can I get you a receipt? I want you to have a receipt. Oh, no, I just want us to have fireworks. So it's wonderful.
Very good. Thank you very much. That's
Thank
what
you.
I was hoping for. I got to tell you, I am so excited about the venue, where we're going to have the fireworks, and I am going to be able to sit somewhere where I can see the fireworks and our monument in the same picture.
Isn't that awesome?
And I'm going to call Benjamin myself and tell him just what a fabulous sight it was. And I hope everybody comes down and watches it and understand out there, this is your fireworks show, okay? This is not just your community, this is not your celebration, this is your country, this is your foundation, for heaven's sakes. Be a part of it, appreciate what it is. Come on down, it's going to be a fantastic event.
It will be.
And then you know what? Come up with the cost of a Happy Meal, which is like $11, or maybe a cup of coffee at Starbucks, which is like $13 if you get the filthy stuff. but just a little bit. Let's have our fireworks. Let's celebrate the city of Taft, and everybody needs to be a part of it, because everybody's going to enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Thank
Kathy.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Cryer?
I think we're very fortunate as a community to be able to have fireworks. There's so many communities in California and also in the U.S. that don't have it no more. And it's one of the few things in our founding of our country is that we celebrate our independence and to be a free country. And it's nice to be able to keep on with our fireworks and celebrate our independence. And thank the Chamber for doing all the hard work and raising the money and putting it all together. It's great, and thank you.
Mr. Waldrop?
I think the city of Taft is very blessed with all the community output that's coming in, and it just makes you real proud, and I'm happy and thank all of those people who are participating. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I just want to make it clear, too, that I know any funds that are in excess of what are garnered from this year's collections will just be rolled over into the next year. So don't stop giving. It's important that, I would like to see a big rush this last month and just blow it out of the water. But the truth of the matter is, if you can give throughout the year, whether it's $10 a year or $1 a month, that's $12 a year. Every little bit helps. So anyway, I guess I'm not hearing any nays on the donation. Do we need to bring this back again, or can we?
You can vote on it tonight.
Just make a
Yeah.
motion to make a donation of whatever.
Well, then I would make the motion to donate $2,000 to the Taft Chamber of Commerce for the fireworks show.
Second.
Third. Motion is second. I guess that's general fund money, or capital reserves, so we need to have a roll call, please.
Who seconded that, by the way?
I heard the third. Mr. Cryer had the second.
Councilmember Linder?
Yes.
Oh, Mayor Linder.
Oh, that's all right, either way.
Councilmember Cryer?
Yes.
Councilmember North?
Yes.
And Councilmember Waldron?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen, I appreciate that. Item number 29, and our last item tonight, is another just absolutely stunning 5 minutes we won't get back. Approval of travel expense for League of California Cities Annual Conference and designation of voting delegate and alternate. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. The League of California Cities Annual Conference is scheduled for September 18th through the 20th at the Sacramento Convention Center. In order to comply with the policy, it will be necessary for the council to authorize expenses for conference registration, lodging, meals, transportation, and other incidental expenses for the council members who wish to attend the conference. All council members are eligible to attend. Expenses are estimated to be approximately $1,400 per attendee.
Thank you. At this time, well, I'm going to make the motion, I'm going to open it up for a motion. Motion to authorize expenses for registration, lodging, meals, transportation, and other incidental expenses for the council members who wish to attend the 2013 League of California Cities Annual Conference in Sacramento.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Mr. North.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I guess at this point in time, it's a matter of finding out who plans on attending. I mean, it's not just a fun trip for everybody out there in TV land who wonders what it's about. I mean, you make a lot of contacts, you talk to a lot of people, you find out where things are going. You can have some impact on what's going on in Sacramento, at least try to be the voice of the city of Taft and interface with other small communities. There's strength in numbers, and that's how you build those bonds. So I myself will not be requesting that I attend that, but I would support if we had, whether it was the mayor and another council member or two council members, that we're going to go up there and actively promote and represent our community. It's very important. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Cryer.
Yeah, this would be I've been there twice already, and the second one I went to in San Diego was by far the best, and I got an awful lot out of it, and it was very well worth it. A lot of good contacts, like Mr. North said, and I think the city needs to be represented there, and it's what we need to do. We also, the city also need to, if we want to send for the League of Cities, if you have any resolution you want to send to them on the voting, so that our concerns with gun control or with enterprise zone, we get support of the city to vote on it, to get more strength, more teeth behind it, and be proactive on it. But it's good for us, for a small community. We get one vote. Every city there gets one vote. San Francisco, LA, they only get one vote. Taft gets one vote. So it's a lot of power there.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Waldron?
Yes, I've been to quite a few of them myself, and it's a very learning experience. I've been, even when I got depressed at one, I still learned a lot at this one.
I remember that one.
Yes.
I remember you telling us about
Yes.
that.
But, you know, it's, if there was any way to go, I would go, but I don't see how I can make it myself, so. But it's very informative, and if you go there with a set mind of picking up a lot of information and bringing that back and sharing with the council and the members of the city, it's very rewarding. Thank you.
Thank you. I too, I've kind of opted out the last couple of times only because the city's budget has not been as healthy as it is. The one key here is that this one is in Sacramento. And basically, you can schedule now to meet with our legislators and actually have face-to-face conversations with them. And so at this point, I would be certainly approving of the funds. I don't know if I'm going to go yet or not, but I will check my schedule. If you gentlemen think it's a worthy cause, then we should fund the expenses. And I think perhaps the city manager should plan on attending also. Are you able to?
I thought about it, but I might be.
Okay.
I see it.
Okay. Well, I think tonight we've approved the fact that we will fund the expenses, so I guess we need a roll call though, don't we? Yeah, so maybe
You gotta approve up to 3 people.
well,
maybe?
you know, I hate to do that and then have to come back. It sounds like...
You don't have to, that many go, you just approve.
Right,
it.
right. I'm
Yeah.
just saying approve the council to go. I'm guessing there's going to be one, maybe two that go. I don't know. I don't know what Mr. Miller's feeling is. I know two have already opted out, and I understand that. So I would say let's, can we approve the,
You have to have a selective voting delegate.
well, that's where we're going next year. So,
Can I make a suggestion?
yes.
Regardless of who goes, we need to get the reservations in.
Early bird.
The early bird, you can save a little bit, and then also hotel reservations. You get
Fill
the
up
government
quickly.
rate because they reserve certain blocks, and once those fill up, then you're going to pay more.
Okay, so we have till June 28th, but whoever determines to go should get back to you guys as soon as possible. Okay. So, we're still, I think what we're doing is we're approving expenses for the League of California Cities. Is that clean enough?
Yeah.
I would concur with that,
Okay.
because like you say, we need to speak with Councilman Miller, find out if indeed he's planning on going, and give the mayor some opportunity to check his schedule and see if he's going to be able to attend. So yeah, approving the item itself and the funding this evening, that way everything is set in motion, and then
Right.
the individual can make a decision regarding going up there.
Okay. And that's exactly what the recommended action is. So we have a motion. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember North?
Yes.
Councilmember Carr?
Yes.
Councilmember Waldron?
Yes.
Mayor Linder?
Yes, and the second item on that is to select a voting delegate and an alternate voting delegate for the League of California Cities annual business meeting to be held at the annual conference on September 20th. And I will tell you that I will do my best to attend, and so if you guys don't mind, make me the voting delegate, and if somebody else can go, they can be the alternate.
I would make that motion.
Second.
May we have a roll call then? And you'll let me know. Are you thinking possible? Okay.
Councilmember Carr?
Yes.
Councilmember North?
Yes.
Councilmember Waldron?
Yes.
Mayor Linder?
Yes, thank you very much. And that concludes our business meeting for tonight. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching, and we are adjourned.